The silence of your midnight prayers reached me louder than the cries of crowds. You thought no one noticed your breaking heart behind the smile you wore. But I was there, counting every tear, collecting every breath you held back so no one else would see you fall apart. I did not overlook your pain. I witnessed the weight you carried when no one else even offered a hand. Heaven has watched you stand in rooms where you felt invisible, fight battles while others slept peacefully, and believe in my promise even when nothing looked like it was working. Now hear me clearly. This is not a season of silence anymore. This is the sound of your rescue. I am not whispering anymore. I am declaring over you with the thunder of heaven. Victory is standing in front of you now. This is an urgent moment. What you thought was just another hard day is actually the final push before everything shifts. The suffering that felt like your undoing is becoming the soil where your elevation begins. I'm not just answering your prayer, I'm releasing the fullness of what your heart was too afraid to even ask for. I speak now into your spirit. Lift your head. Open your heart, for the victory you didn't think would arrive is already walking through your door. Don't miss it. This is your divine turnaround, and it starts right now. Stay in position. I am still speaking. I am not done. And now, lean in deeper, because I am not just easing your burden, I am reversing the entire weight that pressed against you. You've been pulled, stretched, and worn beyond what you thought your soul could endure. But listen carefully, this isn't where you unravel, this is where the tables begin to turn with force. What tormented your thoughts, what drained your strength, what whispered that you wouldn't make it through, those things are now collapsing under the power of my intervention. This moment isn't random. It's strategic. You've reached the place where I step in to end what you were never meant to carry forever. Do not mistake my stillness for absence. I was measuring every second, ensuring the breaking point became a breakthrough point. The tide is turning mid-battle, and it's not because the enemy grew weak, it's because my hand has now lifted your name above the flood. What once surrounded you is now being swallowed up by my command. I am speaking directly to the war that tried to make your spirit weary. It will not win. You are not losing momentum, you are stepping into the divine shift where everything accelerates in your favor. What you thought was resistance was actually the final layer being peeled back before access is granted. The gates are opening, and this is your entry moment. I am commanding things to fall into place, even the ones that were out of your reach. There's no more delay. No more circling the same patterns. This is the moment where the war begins to lose its grip on you. I am the one who stretches time and restores what was spent. I am now shortening the path you thought would take forever. Get ready to feel the atmosphere around you shift. The tension that kept pulling will now push you forward. A resistance will become your momentum. The warfare is now becoming witness to your victory. I am releasing a sudden turn. The evidence of your pressing is about to become the testimony of your transformation. And I'm not done. Keep listening. I watched you when you thought it was over, when your soul trembled under the weight of everything collapsing. You felt like you were unraveling, but I was weaving something deeper in you, something eternal. That place where you thought you would fall apart was never meant to destroy you, it was the furnace where your destiny was forged. Every sigh, every sleepless night, every moment you whispered I can't anymore was heard and held in my hands. What you labeled as failure was fertile ground for something far greater than you imagined. The crushing you felt was not punishment, it was alignment. You were not being broken to pieces. You were being restructured from within so that nothing shallow would survive. The foundation I'm building in you can't be shaken by mere winds. That collapse you feared wasn't a collapse, it was a reset from heaven. I didn't come to patch up the old, I came to raise something brand new from the ruins. The pain didn't disqualify you, it trained you. You thought the silence meant abandonment, but it was me whispering instructions into your spirit, too sacred for noise, too holy for crowds. The desert wasn't empty, it was where I wrote blueprints on your soul that can't be erased by the world's storms. You're not fragile, you're fire-tested. You didn't break down, you broke through. What you lost in comfort, I replaced with unshakable purpose. That moment where everything was stripped was where I placed your real armor on you. I made you strong in the places you were weak. I made you stable in the places that once swayed. Look again, your wounds have become wells, and what once bled now flows with living testimony. This is why I allowed it to press so deep, because what I'm calling you into couldn't be built on shallow strength. I used what came to break you as the hammer to shape you. And even now, I am still carving out glory in the hidden places of your journey. What felt like an end is actually the beginning of strength you never knew you had. Keep moving forward. What's coming next will make sense of it all. Don't underestimate the weight of what you survived. Others saw the outward silence, but I saw the quiet battles no one applauded. What you carried in secret required a strength only heaven fully understood. When you felt unseen, I was watching closely, not to judge, but to count every moment you chose to keep going instead of giving in. You endured when your strength was gone. You stayed when everything in you wanted to run. You lifted your eyes to me even when your heart was too heavy to speak. That right there is where the victory began. Not in the moment you overcame, but in the moment you refused to surrender to darkness. You didn't lose your way, you found your courage in the deepest places. You didn't come this far by chance. You've been walking through fire and still refusing to let it steal your hope. This wasn't failure. This was refining. And now, what remained after the testing has proven stronger than what you had before. Endurance is not passive, it's the fiercest form of faith. You chose me when the road was lonely. You trusted me when answers never came. You followed me with bruises on your soul and trembling in your hands. And still, you stood. Still, you believe. And I call that holy. I call that enough. The unseen labor of your endurance has shifted things in the spiritual realm that you have not yet seen in the physical. You think you've been waiting on a miracle, but heaven has already released it because of what your heart chose under pressure. You weren't just enduring for survival, you were enduring for destiny. Every second you stayed faithful, you carved out a place in history that only your obedience could create. And while others may have counted you out, I was writing you into the next chapter of my glory story. You didn't break the test revealed who you truly are, mine. And now, I am lifting the weight you've carried. I am replacing it with a robe of divine strength. I am crowning you with the fruit of faithfulness. You are walking into a reward no man could give, and no enemy can take away. Stay tuned, I am still moving. You've waited long enough thinking I was late, but I was never running behind. Every moment I seem absent, I was actually organizing what no eye could see. I wasn't ignoring your prayers, I was building a stage for the answer to step forward in the fullness of time. I do not respond to pressure, I respond to purpose. And now, everything aligns. What you called delay was actually design. You cried out, "When, Lord?" Not knowing that while you were questioning the clock, I was preparing the entire timeline to obey my command. You were never overlooked. The silence was not a punishment, it was a sacred stillness before the door swung wide open. This very moment you are breathing in right now is holy. Don't rush past it. The appointed hour is not coming, it is here. The weight you've carried is now giving way to divine orchestration. I held you in a waiting room so I could complete what would have been incomplete had I allowed you to move earlier. I never let you settle for partial answers, I have prepared fullness for you. The connections that are falling into place now couldn't have arrived a second before, because they were maturing alongside you. I am not a God of half-built blessings. I finish what I start. And today, what I began in you begins to show itself on the surface. There's a clarity forming around you, like sunlight breaking through heavy fog. You're not wandering anymore. This moment is more than breakthrough, it's divine synchronization. The people, the place, the timing is converging with prophetic precision. You'll realize very soon why the earlier seasons had to stretch long. What you thought you lost during the delay will now be returned with increase. I redeem time not by rewinding the past but by releasing acceleration in the present. That's what's happening to you right now. You're entering into answered prayers without resistance, not because the battle disappeared, but because the appointed moment has arrived. Your name is being called in realms you've never walked in. The door didn't open because you knocked harder, it opened because it's time. And I declare to you now, this is your moment of release. It is not by force. It is not by chance. It is because I have spoken, and when I speak, the earth responds. Keep listening. I'm just getting started. Even in the places you whispered into the darkness, thinking no one heard, I was there. You couldn't see me, but my presence wrapped around you like breath you didn't notice you were still breathing. I stood by your side in rooms where you felt invisible, when your voice trembled too much to pray, when your hands were too weak to lift. I was closer than the pain, closer than the memory, closer than your next heartbeat. You imagined heaven was far away, up in some unreachable distance, but heaven had been moving with you step for step, tear for tear. I saw when you waited for comfort from people who never came. I saw you look around, wondering who would understand, and find no one. But I was not absent. I was waiting until your eyes would meet mine in that silence. And when your own heart betrayed you with thoughts of giving up, I whispered your name so gently that your spirit stirred again even when you didn't know why. That wasn't strength returning on its own, that was me laying my hand on your chest and saying, "Live again." You feel it now. That stirring, that shift. It's not emotion, it's encounter. Because even now I am proving to you that I never needed an open church, a loud psalm, or a crowded space to visit you. You are my sanctuary. You are the dwelling place where my glory longs to rest. And I have not only walked with you, I have carried you through terrain that would have buried others. I'm not somewhere waiting for you to arrive at me. I've been walking inside the places you couldn't bring anyone else into. I've navigated the narrowest parts of your soul, tracing every fracture with mercy and every doubt with unrelenting love. You called yourself forgotten, but I wrote your name on my hand. You thought you were invisible, but I whispered your value into eternity. And even when your own voice said, "I don't matter," my spirit replied, "You are the one I left the 99 for." You never had to earn my nearness. You were never abandoned for even a second. I've been waiting for this moment to show you that not only have I never left, I've been drawing you nearer, layer by layer, until you would realize I was never gone. I was hiding glory in your grief. And now, that glory is about to rise. Keep leaning, and I am still here, and I am still speaking. The forces that tried to wear you down, the systems that seemed stacked against your name, the plans that others built to see you fail, they are now being dismantled and rebuilt under my command. You did imagine the pressure, and you weren't wrong about the resistance. It was real. It tried to tamel your progress, frustrate your purpose, and silence your growth. But what it didn't know is that I never allowed it to succeed. I only allowed it to shape the very things that would now push you forward. What opposed you was permitted only so that its weapons could be transformed into tools. I am now turning those very instruments of chaos into cornerstones of your next level. What was meant to restrict you is being forced to release resources. What was organized to block you is now being used to build a pathway under your feet. What once screamed barrier is now being rewritten to say breakthrough. Can you feel the shift beginning to unfold beneath you? The same people who tried to exclude you are being stirred by my spirit to call you in. Those who once doubted your worth are being positioned to validate what I've already placed upon you. Not because you need their approval, but because I will show through your life that I can use even resistance to bring about my promise. This is not karma, this is kingdom reversal. I am not punishing your enemies, I am preparing a table. And not just any table. A table that could only be set by the one who has authority over the seen and the unseen. Even the winds that once blew against you are now shifting direction to carry you. The same closed doors that made you weep in frustration are swinging wide, not because of chance, but because I've redirected the hinges of the entire atmosphere around your assignment. What didn't cooperate before is now under my instruction. I speak to systems. I speak to structures. I speak to hearts that once rejected you. And I say, make way. You are not coming in through the back anymore. You are being ushered through the front, not to boast, but to fulfill. And I say to every force that worked to delay your harvest, you must now deliver. Your hands will not leave empty. The battle has changed, and now the very thing that tried to bury you is being used to elevate you. Keep walking. Don't stop to question the sudden shift. Is me. And I am still moving. They spoke as if your story had already ended. They looked at your weariness and mistook it for weakness. They pointed at your delay and called it defeat. But what they failed to see, what they could never comprehend, was that I had my hand on you even while they mocked your stillness. I allowed them to speak because their words became fuel for the fire I've been kindling inside you. Every harsh opinion, every dismissive tone, every whisper spoken behind your back is about to be eclipsed by my undeniable elevation over your life. I do not respond to the crowd, I rise for my chosen. And now, I will not silence them with rebuke. I will silence them with proof. I will elevate you in such a way that the ones who watched you fall will have no choice but to witness you fly. I will display my faithfulness through you, not as vengeance, but as validation that I was always working in the background of your story. This is your unveiling season, not to glorify you, but to glorify what grace can do with a surrendered soul. What they laughed at, I am crowning. What they walk away from, I am lifting high. The very voices that said you would never recover are about to hear your testimony echo in places they cannot ignore. I am turning ridicule into recognition, not because you need their attention, but because I want them to see what happens when someone refuses to bow to bitterness and waits on me. Let them watch. I am preparing your next move with divine clarity. Their criticism was loud, but my confirmation will thunder. The ones who counted you out will now witness your assignment unfold with unstoppable momentum. You will not have to explain. You will not have to prove anything. You will simply rise. You will soar on the strength they said you didn't have. And when they ask how, they will know it could only be me. This is not about proving them wrong, it's about proving that no opinion can override my word. This lifting is not coming from effort, it's coming from the unshakable fact that I never left you. You stayed when it was easier to quit. You held on when it hurt. And now, the ones who dismissed you are about to witness the divine hand that never released you. Let them look what I'm about to do in you is going to leave them speechless. And I am not finished, stay close. What's unfolding around you is not a mere shift in circumstances, it is the dismantling of everything that tried to claim permanent space in your soul without my permission. I am not giving you partial relief. I am uprooting the very roots of the oppression that tried to chain itself to your identity. You didn't need a seasonal blessing, you needed a complete spiritual exodus. And that is what is taking place now, even as you stand in the tension between the old and the new. You feel something is happening, but you can't name it yet. Let me name it for you. It's called freedom. Not the kind that simply calms your storms, but the kind that empties your soul of every agreement you unknowingly made with fear, despair, shame, and hopelessness. This is not behavior modification, this is soul-level release. I'm breaking off the silent vows you made just to survive. I'm touching the places you hid from even yourself. You asked me to fix the outcome, but I've come to free the inside. Deliverance isn't just when chains fall off, it's when your breath deepens again, when your vision returns, when your voice sounds like hope again. You don't even realize how bound you were, because the pressure became familiar. But now I'm severing the invisible tethers, the ones that tied you to trauma, that linked you to lies, that kept you in cycles disguised as comfort. I am dismantling the false shelters you built out of disappointment. The walls that used to feel like protection are about to come down, not to expose you, but to liberate you. You are walking out of a soul prison not with broken steps, but with new strength. What haunted your nights will no longer whisper. What followed you in silence is being commanded to release its grip. You are not just being rescued, you are being restored to the original design I wrote over you before the world taught you fear. This deliverance is not small. It is full. It is fierce. It is final. And once it begins, it does not stop halfway. It completes what it starts. Today is not random, it is the appointed hour of reversal. And what begins now will not be undone. You will not return to who you were before this shift. You will not be dragged back into the shadows you were delivered from. This freedom is permanent, and it carries my signature. Walk boldly, you're not just changing directions, You are stepping into who you were always meant to be. Stay close. There is more I must show you. Every time you tried to move forward and felt invisible resistance pushing you back, that was not your imagination, it was the weight of spiritual cord silently anchoring your steps. You prayed for movement, but what you didn't realize is that your progress was not denied, it was entangled. Tied to past expectations, unmet hopes, unspoken disappointments, and burdens placed on you by others who never understood your calling. But right now, in this sacred moment, my voice is breaking through layers of those invisible restraints. Not one chain is strong enough to withstand my word. As you receive this, something is loosening beneath the surface. You feel it though you can't explain it. The heaviness that had no name is lifting. The hesitation you couldn't justify is dissolving. These are not just emotional shifts. This is supernatural deliverance happening in real time. The very places you always felt stuck are now yielding to the authority of my spirit. No more cycles of delay. No more invisible ceilings. No more repeating the same motion with no traction. I have issued a divine order in the unseen realm. Let go of what is mine, and the atmosphere around you must obey. Chains of fear are disintegrating. Chains of false identity are collapsing. Chains formed from words spoken against you, from trauma buried deep, from seasons of rejection, they are all being cut with precision by my hand. I am not using force, I am using truth. Because where my truth enters, no lie can survive. What once shackled you in silence is being dismantled by my decree. Your momentum is being restored not artificially, not through hype, but through a holy unlocking. You are not too late. You are not too behind. You are not too broken. You are exactly where I needed you to be so I could reach the place no one else could. This is not the beginning of your freedom, it is the continuation of what I have long been setting in motion behind the scenes. And now it reaches you. Now it manifests. Don't look back to test if the chains still hold, they are no longer attached. Don't analyze how it broke, just walk. Walk with the knowing that I have interrupted everything that tried to interrupt you. Your feet are free. Your mind is clearing. Your voice is gaining power again. This is the season of movement without resistance, breakthrough without breakdown, forward without fear. Keep going, I am leading you into lands that once seemed unreachable. And I will not stop. Stay in step with me. Even the quietest cry you released into your pillow, even the thought you couldn't shape into language but only groaned beneath the weight of weariness, I caught it. You wondered if you were speaking into emptiness, if your voice simply vanished after it left your lips. But I tell you now, not a syllable was lost. Not a whisper floated past me. Your tears translated your petitions when your voice broke apart. I am not a distant God needing formal speech to respond. I am a Father who hears the trembling of your heart even before you dare to speak it aloud. The moments you prayed with nothing left inside you but breath were the moments I leaned in the closest. You asked for answers, and though the timing felt unbearable, I was already moving. Every delay was not denial, it was preparation, calibration, divine orchestration. I didn't ignore your cries. I was building a foundation that could hold the weight of what you asked for. You prayed for open doors, but I had to first ensure the room behind the door wouldn't collapse beneath the fulfillment. I honored every why you asked, even the angry ones, even the broken ones. My love isn't threatened by your wrongness. Your honesty never offended me, it invited me deeper. And even now, as you reflect on prayers you thought were forgotten, I am awakening answers in unexpected places. The waiting has been long, yes, but it hasn't been empty. It has been sacred. It has been layered with purpose. I stored every prayer in heaven's vault, and none of them expired. Some are being released now, even before you remember asking. Some are being fulfilled in ways that will look different, but will satisfy deeper. What you thought I overlooked is what I am now using to overflow. You were not talking to the wind, you were setting miracles in motion. You were seeding outcomes into time, and I have been nurturing every seed with precision. The atmosphere is aligning. The answers are drawing near. Not one request was too small. Not one question was ignored. I heard you, and now you will see the fruit of being heard by the one who never forgets. Stay close. What is about to unfold will be undeniably connected to the very words you once prayed in trembling hope. I never asked the world for permission to move on your behalf. I didn't consult your history, your qualifications, or the opinions of others before deciding what I would do in and through you. I authored your story outside the limits of natural understanding and what others dismissed as fantasy. I called your future. You heard them say it can't happen. You've heard voices tell you it's too late, too far gone, too broken to be fixed. But I have never been bound by statistics, timelines, or impossibilities. I am the creator of possibility itself. What man calls unlikely, I call guaranteed when my hand is involved. Every time someone doubted your path, they were measuring it by what they could see, but I was building something behind the veil. What looks impossible to them is the very stage I chose to reveal my glory through you. I don't need ideal conditions. I move in chaos and bring divine order. I speak to dead things and they respond with life. I breathe on ashes and beauty rises. The no you heard from the world was not the final word, it was the setup for my undeniable yes. And when I mark something as inevitable, nothing on earth or beneath it can reverse it. Your victory is not dependent on chance, connection, or human validation. It's rooted in my unshakable word. The walls they built to keep you out are becoming the backdrop to the miracle I'm unfolding through you. You will walk through what once blocked you, not by force, but by the authority I've placed on your obedience. Your faith in what you could not see has moved mountains that others thought would stand forever. I have watched you trust me even when the evidence was lacking. I have seen your belief bloom in barren places. And now I will respond not just with enough, but with the overflow that silences every mocking voice. You are stepping into what they said would never happen, not to prove them wrong, but to prove that I was always right about you. I didn't change my mind when they changed theirs. I didn't alter my promise just because they lost sight of yours. What I have written remains, and what I have declared over you cannot be undone. Let them watch. Let them wonder. But never doubt. What they said was impossible, I already settled as inevitable. And I walk in the truth, because I am not done revealing what I began. You searched with weary hands and tear-stained eyes, hoping to discover a way through what felt like a wall too high to scale and too wide to get around. You knocked until your knuckles bled in silence, and still, it seemed nothing moved. You questioned yourself, your worth, your calling, wondering if the path was hidden because you weren't chosen. But what you didn't see was that I wasn't preparing a door for you to stumble upon. I was preparing you to walk through a door that didn't yet exist in your timeline. I am not restricted to what already stands. I create access in places where there once was only obstruction. When I say, I am the door, I mean that nothing moves forward unless it is allowed by me, and no force in hell or on earth can keep shut what I have declared open. The opportunity that kept slipping out of reach wasn't a denial, it was a delay until you could carry it with strength and clarity. You weren't forgotten, you were being fortified. And now, the delay is over. What used to resist you is about to yield at your approach, not because you've become louder, but because my presence goes before you. You won't have to push this time. You won't have to manipulate or strive. This door will swing open at your arrival, because the atmosphere recognizes the anointing I've placed on you. You are not knocking anymore. You're walking in. You are stepping into rooms you didn't train for, platforms you didn't campaign for, and conversations you never thought you'd be invited into. This is not about luck or coincidence, it's divine orchestration manifesting in real time. I am the key and the gatekeeper. I open for those I've called, and I've called you not for survival, but for kingdom purpose. The places that once ignored your presence will now be unable to operate without your voice. The very corridors you used to only imagine walking through are becoming your new normal. And you won't be walking timidly, you'll walk with authority, not from arrogance, but from alignment. This opening is not temporary. This access is not fragile. It is secured by my name and sealed by my blood. Every step you take from here will be under the canopy of favor you didn't earn but you did endure for. So step forward now, not with hesitation, but with reverence. The door is no longer missing. It is here. It is open. And I am the one who is holding it wide. There are days that pass with routine, where time flows quietly and nothing seems to shift, but not this one. This day carries the weight of divine interruption. This day is drenched in the oil of reversal. Everything that has been against you, every current that pulled you backward, every outcome that reinforced the lie that it would never change, those cycles are being disrupted by my voice right now. I didn't choose this moment at random. I've reserved it, protected it, and assigned angels to surround it so nothing could contaminate what I've chosen to release through it. This is the hour that carries authority, the kind that overrides generational patterns, breaks emotional chains, and resets the very fabric of what you thought your life would look like. The spiritual winds have shifted direction. What was once falling apart is now coming together, not by your strategy, but by my sovereignty. The pain that has echoed through seasons is being silenced by a new sound, restoration, and not the kind that simply returns you to where you were, but the kind that launches you into what you never believed could be yours. Today is the kind of day where heaven's declarations override earthly predictions. I am not tweaking your story, I am flipping it. I am turning mourning into dancing so quickly that you won't even remember how long you sat in the ashes. I'm not asking permission to reverse what has stood too long, I'm commanding it. Bitterness is being traded for joy. Confusion is making room for clarity. Lack is being evicted and abundance is taking residence. You are not who you were when the sun rose this morning. Something has shifted in the unseen, and now it is catching up in the visible. You thought it would take years to see change, but I am compressing the timeline, collapsing delays, and releasing outcomes at the speed of obedience. This is a demotivational moment, this is a divine pivot. And those who thought they knew the ending to your story will now have to rewrite their assumptions. I am rewriting the chapter, not with ink, but with fire. Fire that purifies, heals, and seals the new path in place. Let your spirit receive this. The reversal has begun. You won't have to beg for it. You won't have to chase it. It will find you because I've ordained it. Everything the enemy constructed for your downfall is now becoming evidence of your deliverance. You stepped into a moment that carries destiny. Yard it. Believe it. Move in it. Because this is not just a good day, this is your marked hour of transformation. And the next breath you take is already different because I am in it. What your eyes see right now may still resemble the ruins, the remnants of prayers that seemed unanswered, promises that felt abandoned, and dreams that lay dormant under the dust of delay. But I am calling you to lift your gaze beyond what is visible. The scene around you is not the conclusion, it's the scaffolding for something I'm restoring piece by piece. Don't let the sight of what hasn't yet shifted deceive your spirit into thinking nothing is happening. The brokenness is not the final story, it's the canvas for my glory. Right now, under the surface of your waiting, I am weaving restoration so intricate that even the fractured parts will soon gleam with purpose. You see cracks, I see the openings where my light will shine through. You see damage, I see the blueprint for divine reconstruction. I am not intimidated by what's in pieces. I specialize in making beauty from what others discarded. Let them walk away from what they'd called too far gone. I stayed. I remained. Because I saw what it would become, even when you didn't have the strength to believe it anymore. And I'm not merely fixie, I'm transforming. You will return to the form reversion of what was broken. It won't look like it used to. It won't feel like it used to. It will be stronger, deeper, richer, and entirely drenched in my presence. You will not recognize what emerges because it will carry the fingerprints of heaven, not the residue of your pain. So don't anchor your faith in what your eyes behold, anchor it in what I've declared. This is the tension between what is and what is coming. The unfinished frame is not a failure, it's the evidence that the master builder is still on site. Your faith is not wasted here. Your worship in this in between is building the atmosphere for miracles to land. And even when you can't make sense of the chaos, Trust that I'm building in a rhythm that transcends human understanding. I'm placing divine order in the mess. I'm constructing wholeness out of what looked beyond repair. Don't be lured into hopelessness by what hasn't moved yet. Every delay is layered with design. Every delay is wrapped in timing. You are standing at the edge of something breathtaking, and the dust in your eyes is about to be blown away by the breath of my spirit. To fix your voters not on what's right, but on what's forming. The miracle is already in motion. The pieces are not lost, they are being gathered. Stay anchored, because what looked irreparable will soon rise as a testimony of what only I could do. They watched your silence and assumed it meant surrender. They saw the pressure and believed it had broken your purpose beyond repair. They misread your waiting season as a burial and labeled your stillness as defeat. But what they did not realize is that while they thought they were witnessing the end, they were standing at the threshold of a divine unveiling. What looked like your lowest moment was actually the moment I bent down to lift you higher than you've ever been. While the enemy celebrated your stillness, I was quietly stirring resurrection within you. I let the noise die down so that when I raise you, it will not be credited to anything but my hand. This wasn't the end. It was the hush before the roar of your rising. I never abandoned you to be mocked. I positioned you in obscurity so the unveiling would be undeniable. They called you finished, but I called you hidden. They called it over, but I was just beginning. Because I do not launch from applause, I launch from surrender. And your surrender has given me full access to write a chapter that no one saw coming. What I'm doing now cannot be predicted, because it's not recycled. It's original. I'm not recycling your past, I'm birthing your future from places the enemy never knew existed. You are not returning to who you were before this trial, you are emerging as someone entirely refined, anointed, equipped, and sealed by fire. I allowed the opposition because it built the exact resistance your spirit needed to grow stronger. You thought you were losing ground, but I was enlarging your territory. You felt like you were fading away, but I was darkening the stage so that the spotlight of my glory would shine through you when the time was right. And that time is now. I'm not waiting for their permission to begin your next chapter. I'm not negotiating your calling with the crowd. I'm elevating you because I have chosen you. Let every lie be silenced by what I'm about to do in you. Let every mocking voice be stunned into stillness as I raise you from the place they left you. This is the kind of comeback that doesn't need revenge, just revelation. The truth of my presence in your life will speak louder than any slander they released. You don't have to fight to be seen, I will make your unveiling undeniable. This is your appointed moment to rise, not to prove yourself, but to prove my word never returns void. I'm not done with you, I've only just begun. The pages ahead are richer than everything behind. Walk forward, I'm still unfolding more. There were moments when you felt the weight of waiting crush your hope. You measured your worth against timelines and wondered if you were forgotten, overlooked, bypassed by others who seemed to advance while you remained stuck. But I need you to know this now. In the depths of your spirit, what you saw as delay, I designed as protection. I was not withholding blessings from you. I was withholding what would have broken you had it come too soon. What looked like doors closed against you were actually walls I built to block harm from touching your purpose. I saw traps set behind what looked like opportunities. I saw pressure hiding behind positions. I saw compromise cloaked in connection. And while you begged me to open those paths, I was guarding your future with the kind of love that does not explain itself in the moment, but proves itself in time. The waiting was not wasted. It was me standing between you and every counterfeit disguised as provision. I delayed not to discourage you, but to refine your discernment so that when I bring the real thing, you won't be fooled by lesser offers. I slowed the pace not to punish you, but to strengthen the muscles of your trust, because where I am taking you requires endurance, not just excitement. I let the doors remain shut so you could learn to recognize the sound of my voice over the noise of the crowd. Every not yet was soaked in mercy. Every pause promise was wrapped in precision. Had I answered when you wanted, you would have stepped into a blessing that hadn't fully formed, and it would have crushed more than it carried. But now, because you waited, because you stayed when you could have wandered, because you chose me over impatience. I am releasing what is not only right but ready. You are not behind. You are not late. You are right on time for what has been custom-made with your name embedded in its very foundation. Don't look back with regret for the seasons that stretched long. They were sacred pauses, not wasted chapters. They were the holy wombs of your becoming. And now, the protection I gave you in the dark is about to reveal itself in the light. You will soon say, "Thank you, Lord, for not giving me what I thought I needed." Because what I am placing in your hands now will not slip, break, or betray. It will bless, build, and last. The weight was not your enemy, it was your covering. And now that the time is full, I am removing the veil and releasing what could only arrive when your heart, your spirit, and your path were finally ready. Keep watching. I'm not done guiding you. You begged me to let you in. You cried for access, for acceptance, for that one thing, that one place, that one person you thought would complete what felt empty. You believed it was good. You were convinced it was necessary. You wrapped your hope around it and called it a blessing. But I, who see from eternity, looked into what you could not yet discern, and I blocked it. Not because I wanted to frustrate you, but because I was saving you from collapse that wore a disguise. What looked like alignment on the outside was holding erosion beneath its surface. If I had said yes to your plea, it would have tangled your peace, distorted your vision, and drained your purpose. I withheld it not out of cruelty, but because my love does not compromise. I would not allow your future to be fastened to what couldn't carry it. I saw the cracks behind the charm, the wounds behind the welcome, the shadows in the open doorway. I heard what they didn't say aloud. I saw what was masked by timing, and so I quietly shut the door. You felt the ache of my silence, but it was the sound of a father shielding his child from harm they couldn't recognize. My no was not rejection, it was redirection. I didn't let you settle because I had seen what was coming. I saw how easily you would have built your tent in temporary places, and I love you too much to let you pitch your heart where I haven't placed my presence. You thought you were missing out, but what you missed was not a loss. It was mercy. I removed you from what you thought would make you whole, so I could take you somewhere your soul would never fracture again. And now, you're beginning to see glimpses of why I said no. The peace you feel in your spirit now, that is the confirmation. That heaviness you no longer carry, that is my signature. That internal freedom that doesn't need validation. That's what protection feels like. I want you to know there's not a single thing I've withheld that wasn't for your preservation. I'd rather disappoint your expectations than watch your spirit crumble under the weight of a counterfeit blessing. I allowed the tears, but I stopped the tragedy. And even now, I am still steering you. Trust me when I turn you away. Trust me when I remove what you prayed to keep. Because the detours I design are not to confuse, they are to cover. You're not walking away empty. You're walking away with wisdom. And where I'm taking you next will require the discernment born from this very lesson. Keep walking. You'll thank me soon, not just for what I gave you, but for everything I refused to let in. You questioned the stillness. You listened for answers and heard none. You pleaded for signs and saw only shadows. And in that unbearable quiet, you began to wonder if I had walked away, if perhaps your prayers had floated into a void where they would never echo back. But what you called silence, I called sacred preparation. I wasn't ignoring you, I was orchestrating something too holy to interrupt with noise. Heaven was moving in stealth, while your world stood still. I know how silence can feel like abandonment, how quiet seasons can press against your confidence like invisible walls. But while you sat in that hush, I was tuning the atmosphere for your unveiling. Like a symphony paused before the crescendo, like the hush before a bride enters the room, like the hush before a judge renders a verdict. This was divine silence, not divine absence. You weren't being overlooked, you were being reserved for something weightier than what words could carry in that moment. I didn't want your ears to be filled with distraction when I was shaping a new sound for your breakthrough. And that sound is rising now. The silence is breaking not with chaos, but with the rhythm of redemption. The sound that's coming isn't noise, it's the harmony of answered prayers, of restored dignity, of long-awaited joy that will not be delayed another day. Celebration is about to replace confusion. Where you once sat in silence wondering if you were forgotten, now you will stand in awe as praise erupts from your lips, not because you forced it, but because you will be unable to hold it back. The stillness was needed so that when the sound arrives, you would recognize it as unmistakably divine. The clamor of voices around you had to fade so you could discern the voice that comes from me alone. And now, the silence is lifting, and with it, so are you. What I've prepared in that quiet cannot be stolen in the open. Your testimony is growing in volume, and the walls that once echoed with nothing are about to shake with shouts of victory. I let you walk through the quiet so you'd come out with unshakable awareness of my presence even when you hear nothing. And because you did not curse the silence, you're now entrusted with the sound that follows. The celebration will not just be personal, it will be prophetic. Others will be drawn to the melody of what I'm doing in your life. Your very existence will become proof that silence is never wasted when it is stewarded with faith. So take a deep breath. Can you hear it? The stillness is changing you. The celebration has begun in the heavenlies, and it's descending even now. You've walked through storms that weren't designed for survival. The kind of darkness that doesn't just try to block the light but tries to extinguish it entirely. There were moments when the weight was unbearable, when even your breath felt too heavy to carry. The assault wasn't just external, it was spiritual, emotional, internal. You were targeted in silence, attacked in hidden places, wounded by what no one else could see. The enemy didn't just want to delay you, he wanted to erase you. He aimed to crush your voice, dissolve your courage, drain your purpose, and confuse your identity. And yet, here you are, still breathing, still believing, still standing not by accident but by intervention. What was meant to consume you was interrupted by my hand. When the flood tried to rise, I lifted the standard. When the fire came to consume, I stood in the flames with you. They won't understand how you didn't collapse under what was designed to break you in half. They won't be able to explain why you still carry peace when the war should have left you in pieces. They'll ask how you still smile with scars so deep, how you speak hope with a past so heavy. And your only answer will be, it was never me, it was the Lord who held me together. I didn't just preserve your life, I preserved your purpose. I shielded your mind from snapping. I sealed your spirit when darkness tried to invade. I carried you when your legs gave way. And now, I am preparing to put on display what I preserve. The ones who walk past you in your pain, the ones who judge you from afar, the ones who thought your silence was surrender, they will see a strength in you they never imagined. But it will not be your strength they're witnessing, it will be the residue of my faithfulness. Your life will become a mystery they cannot solve. Not because you are flawless, but because my grace wrapped around your weakness and turned it into a testimony. You are the living proof that hell can launch its worst and still not win. That what was meant to end you can become the very stage where glory is revealed. So do not be ashamed of what you survived. Do not hide the places that once hurt. I will use them. I will redeem them. And those who once asked, "Where is your God?" will now come to you saying, "Tell me how to find him." You are not just a survivor, you are a signpost. And the story I've written on your life will echo louder than any attack that tried to silence you. Keep walking forward, your very existence is prophecy fulfilled. They questioned your worth because they couldn't see the weight of your calling. They labeled you by your lowest moments, unaware that I was watching from the highest place, writing chapters no one else could read. They laughed when you fell. They whispered when you broke. They called you unqualified, unworthy, unimportant, but I never echoed their opinions. I called you mine. And now, I will answer every insult, not with vengeance but with vindication. Not with loud defense but with visible elevation. You will not need to explain yourself, I will explain you through the way I raise you. I am not lifting you to impress anyone. I am lifting you because you remained faithful when no one was watching. I saw the days you walked in obedience while ignored, while criticized, while questioned. And now I'm bringing clarity to your calling by placing you where only I could position you. You won't need to beg for a platform. You won't need to compete for recognition. I am exalting you, not because of their applause, but because of my assignment. They will watch as doors open for you that no one can shut. They'll witness the unfolding of your destiny and marvel, not at your ability, but at your resilience, your humility, your unwavering yes to me. What once seemed unreachable will now be your daily ground. I'm not elevating your name to boast, I'm elevating your testimony to point back to me. You were overlooked, but I never took my eyes off of you. You were doubted, but I never questioned what I placed inside you. And now I'm about to make the private weight you carried visible through public favor. This is not for show. This is for glory. I'm using your life to speak a louder message than words ever could. I will silence every lie by amplifying the truth through your journey. And no one will be able to deny what I've done, because your story will not fit into natural explanation. They will say, only God could do this. And they'll be right. I'm setting you before those who once dismissed you, not for revenge, but for revelation. They will see you healed, whole, walking in authority and grace, and they will know the one who called you. Keep your heart pure. Keep your posture low, because the lifting that's coming will require a deeper surrender, not less. You're not rising for popularity, you're rising for purpose. And through your obedience, I will speak louder than any defense you could ever give. This is how I answer, not with noise, but with undeniable fruit. And I am not finished. Watch what comes next. You didn't ask for attention. You didn't chase the spotlight. You didn't build your life around applause. And that's why I'm raising you up now, because I can trust you with visibility without it stealing your humility. I'm not exalting you so you can be admired. I'm positioning you so my power can be made visible through your story. This platform will not be made of popularity or human hype. It will be constructed from obedience, endurance, and surrender. Every unseen act of faith, every silent yes, every time you stayed the course when it would have been easier to retreat, those became the pillars that I'm now building upon. You are stepping into a space you didn't campaign for. You are rising into influence you never schemed to attain. And that is precisely how I will be glorified, because everyone will know it couldn't have been you alone. I'm giving you reach not to promote yourself, but to extend my name. Your words will carry weight not because they are eloquent, but because they'll be soaked in authenticity and fire-tested truth. This is not a season for performance, it's a season for prophetic presence. I'm making your life a message. I'm turning your journey into a scroll others will read, not for entertainment, but for encounter. They will feel me when you speak. They will sense me when you move. They will hunger for me because they will see you carry something they can't find in the world. But don't mistake the honor for comfort. This platform will stretch you. It will require deeper wells of dependence. Greater visibility means greater accountability to remain tethered to me. I won't let the elevation pull you from the altar. Instead, I will draw you nearer, whispering strategy, giving insight, delivering blueprints straight from my heart. I'm giving you a place to stand not above others, but in front of them so they can see what it looks like when someone walks through fire and still reflects heaven. The weight of what I'm placing on your life will not crush you, it will awaken others. This is not about fame, it's about freedom. I will place you where chains still linger so your very presence will signal that liberty is possible. I will open doors in unlikely places, and you will speak what I put in your mouth. Not for applause and not for validation, but for awakening. I'm not just lifting you, I'm launching a movement through your surrendered yes. You thought you were just recovering, but I've been commissioning you all along. This is the hour. Stand steady. I'm not done giving instructions. You've lived through seasons of locked doors, closed opportunities, and relentless rejection. You've watched others step into rooms you were prepared for, but your name never seemed to be called. Those no's echoed louder than you admitted, carving doubt into places once filled with faith. You questioned if it was you, if something in you was unworthy, if perhaps you'd missed your moment. But now I speak with clarity to that ache. Those denials were not about your worth. They were about my timing. And now, I am standing in front of every door that once shut in your face and declaring, open. My yes is not hesitant. It's not conditional. It's not small. It carries the full weight of heaven behind it. I am overturning verdicts, writing decisions, and reversing outcomes that were never aligned with my plan for your life. Where you heard unqualified, I'm declaring chosen. Where you heard too late, I'm speaking now is the time. Where you heard no space, I'm making room. The delays and denials weren't meant to hurt you, they were protecting the place your yes belongs. Because I never send my children into spaces that can't sustain them. I waited until the moment the environment was ready to receive the fullness of who I've made you to be. And now, I'm sending you back into places you once left in tears, this time with authority. You won't return as the version of yourself that was wounded by their rejection. You'll walk in carrying the weight of my yes, and every atmosphere will respond. Don't be surprised when what once ignored you now invites you. Don't be confused when you receive offers you didn't apply for, favor you didn't fight for, and access you didn't campaign to earn. My yes doesn't need human agreement to manifest. I don't need them to understand it. I don't need them to approve it. When I say yes, the natural bends to the supernatural. The very places that overlooked you will now be compelled to make space. And you will walk through not bitter, not boastful, but with grace and gratitude. Because you will know that it wasn't your strength, your connections, or your plans, it was me. I've watched you handle every no with humility, and now I'm placing my yes in your hands with power. Ready answers are coming quickly. Doors are unlocking suddenly. Hearts are turning unexpectedly. You won't have to force this open. I've already spoken. My yes has gone ahead of you, and it will not return empty. Keep moving. The path is clear. You feel hidden. You feel passed by. You've watched others be called forward while you remained in the background, faithful but unseen. You've questioned if your season of visibility would ever come, if anyone even knew what you carried, if the dreams I gave you would ever have a place to live. But hear me now. While you've been waiting in obedience, I've been announcing your name in the hearts of those I've prepared to receive you. You don't have to force exposure. I'm speaking for you. Right now, in boardrooms, in offices, in gatherings you've never stepped into. Your name is being stirred in minds that don't even know why they're thinking of you. I've planted your name in the mouths of those who have the ability to shift your direction. Not because of who you know, but because of who you are in me. You've been faithful in silence, and now I'm placing your name on scrolls of divine remembrance. People will look for you not because you advertise yourself, but because my spirit is moving them toward your purpose. These aren't random moments. These are divine alignments orchestrated by heaven's strategy. Your name is being tied to assignments, to opportunities, to partnerships, to invitations that you didn't see coming, but I've seen them all along. Don't be surprised when favor comes looking for you. Don't be startled when your inbox fills with offers, or when doors swing open without you knocking. You're not being discovered, you're being revealed. This is not man's doing. This is the unveiling of my hand. And I want you to prepare, not to impress, but to steward. What's coming requires more than readiness of skill, it requires purity of heart. I've kept you hidden so your character could grow in quiet strength. I've trained your spirit in secret so that when the call comes, you'll rise not as someone who needs validation, but as someone who carries vision. I'm not just giving you access, I'm giving you authority. And when you step in, don't diminish what you carry. Don't shrink to fit the expectations of people who didn't see your process. You are not stepping in as a guest, you are entering as one who has been summoned by heaven's decree. You will feel the weight of destiny on your shoulders, not as pressure, but as peace. Because you will know this moment didn't arrive because of your striving, but because of my timing. So hold your head high. Your name is being handled by the one who holds the world. And I don't drop what I carry. Ready, your name is coming up. They told you it wasn't your time. They turned you away, shut doors in your face, withheld what you were more than ready to receive. And you accepted it, not because you agreed with their judgment, but because you trusted me more than you trusted your own timeline. I saw that. I saw you surrender when your heart wanted to fight. I saw you bow in trust instead of breaking in bitterness. And now I tell you, what was once withheld is no longer out of reach. But I'm not just bringing it back the same way it left. I'm restoring it multiplied, refined, and overflowing. What was once a single opportunity is now becoming a stream of divine access. What was once one open door is now turning into multiple pathways bursting wide under my command. I never forgot what was taken from you. I never overlooked the moments you felt stripped while others were promoted. That no, you endured with grace was not the end of the story, it was the seed of something far greater than you could imagine in the moment. And now, I'm returning what was lost in delay. I'm repaying you with acceleration. I'm recompensing you for the years the locusts devoured, not with a simple refund, but with resurrection-level increase. This isn't payback, it's restoration rooted in justice and saturated with mercy. You are about to receive in weeks what should have taken years. You will witness overflow where you once experienced emptiness. Your hands, once open and waiting, will soon be full to the point of overflow, not for selfish gain, but so that you will be a vessel through which others are blessed. You will distribute from the same place you once desired. What passed over you before is circling back, but this time, it's finding you unshaken, wiser, deeper, and completely surrendered. You won't have to chase it. What belongs to you in this season is assigned to find you. And it will arrive confused, it will arrive confirming. I'm releasing what fits who you've become, not who you were when it left. The delay has expanded your capacity. You're not the same, and neither is what I'm returning. Watch me multiply joy where sorrow reigned. Watch me amplify peace where chaos once dominated. This is not just restoration, it is redemption on display. And when others ask how it happened so suddenly, you will smile knowing it wasn't sudden at all. It was scheduled. It was sealed. And now it's here. Keep your spirit expectant. This is only the beginning. You don't need to strive for visibility or manipulate your way into circles to be seen. You were never called to chase approval. My favor is not a product of popularity, it is the result of placement, purpose, and purity. I've watched you remain faithful while unseen, consistent while uncelebrated, devoted while overlooked. And now I'm sending favor like a river, flowing toward you, locating you, overtaking you. It will not be shallow or fleeting. It will not arrive dressed in disguise. It will be undeniable, unmistakable, and unexplainable by natural terms. You'll begin to experience doors that open before you knock, relationships that are drawn to your spirit before you speak, and opportunities that bypass traditional routes because I have authorized them personally. This is not luck, it is legacy. You have been marked with divine distinction. What others had to fight to access, I will place in your hands simply because you trusted me when it made no sense to do so. Favor is not just coming, it is already tracking you. It is attaching itself to your name, your footsteps, your presence. It will greet you in rooms where no one knows your story but everyone feels the weight of my presence upon you. You'll walk into atmospheres and things will shift not because of your charisma, but because my glory is resting upon you. The kind of favor I'm releasing doesn't flatter, it transforms. It doesn't draw attention to ego, it points people to encounter. And I'm giving it to you because I know you won't worship the blessing, you will remain anchored to the one who gave it. This favor will open not just one door, but dimensions. It will gather what you thought was scattered. It will redeem what you thought we wasted. It will draw provision from unexpected sources, and connections that seem random will suddenly reveal themselves to be part of my divine design. You won't have to explain how it happened. You'll simply walk with the quiet confidence of someone who hath been handpicked by heaven. And when others marvel, you'll lift your eyes not to say, "Look at me," but to say, "Look what the Lord has done." That is the posture I am blessing, humility wrapped in fire, surrender sealed with strength. Stay grounded. Stay yielded. For what's about to rest upon you will not be light, but it will be glories. Favor is not falling, it is finding. And now, it has found you. Keep moving forward. I'm not done leading you into more. You stood at the edge of dreams, vision in your heart, but lack in your hands, wondering how something so clear could still feel so unreachable. You calculated. You stretched it. You hoped it. But the weight of financial limitation pressed on you like a wall that wouldn't move. Quietly, you questioned whether I was asking you to pursue something your circumstances could never sustain. And yet, you never let go. You didn't stop believing, even as you tightened your belt and sacrificed in silence. I saw that. I saw every tear you wiped before anyone noticed, every opportunity you passed on because you refused to compromise your integrity to gain it. And now, I speak this into your atmosphere. I am removing the burden that's been wrapped around your provision. I am opening streams that were once blocked, releasing resources that have your name attached, resources you didn't earn by effort, but received by alignment. This will not be a breakthrough forged in striving. It will be a release birthed from surrender. You won't owe the world for what I give you. You won't trade peace for progress. I will not bless you with one hand and allow the other to be weighed down with anxiety. I am not just making it happen, I am making it lie. Where others will hustle for it, you will walk into it. You will no longer wonder how you'll make ends meet. Ends are no longer meeting, they are multiplying. I am turning scarcity into supply, not by increasing your stress, but by increasing my presence in your plans. You will see doors open that do not come with fine print. You will walk through gates that do not demand a piece of your soul in exchange. What once looked like a mountain of impossibility will dissolve before your eyes, because I have spoken to the winds and commanded them to carry provision straight into your hands. Expect favor. Expect debts to be settled. Expect divine sponsorship, not because of who you know, but because of who you belong to. You will no longer make decisions based on limitation. You will begin to dream again without the weight of how. Stealing your joy. I am removing the not enough that has lived in the back of your mind for too long. From this point forward, you will see the fullness of what happens when I provide without pressure. What I place in your life will not come with sorrow. It will come with peace. It will come with joy. It will come with ease born from obedience. Lift your head. The drought is over. My supply is not coming, it has already been sent. You've been looking in familiar directions, waiting for help from where it once came before. You've scanned the same faces, expected favor from those who once promised, and hoped certain doors would finally open. But what you don't yet see is that I have rerouted your blessing not to confuse you, but to surprise you with glory. The places you least expect are being stirred right now. I am touching hearts that do not know your story, but will feel compelled to respond. I am moving through channels you never imagined, through strangers, through sudden invitations, through forgotten relationships that suddenly resurface carrying divine assignments. This is not the work of man. This is the orchestration of heaven. What you thought was random will reveal itself as strategic. I am not limited to traditional means. I do not require what you thought you needed. I am not bound by protocol or prediction. I will use what looks unqualified to carry the weight of supernatural provision. It will come from corners that used to be dry. It will rise from territory you thought had nothing left to give. You don't need to chase it. You only need to stay aligned, alert, and ready. Because when it shows up, it will not knock, it will enter. It will fit perfectly into the gap you didn't know how to fill. I've seen your integrity, how you refused to compromise while waiting. I watched you hold your head high, even when your hands were empty. And because you chose obedience over opportunity, I'm about to reward you through vessels you didn't think capable. Don't be surprised when your phone rings with provision. Don't be alarmed when your inbox carries miracles. The ones who said nothing before are being stirred to act. And those who dismissed your need are now being positioned to respond with more than you ever asked. Not pity, purpose. That's rab substance. I'm assigning provision to find you and attach itself to your journey like it's been waiting for this moment. And when it comes, don't shrink back. Don't question if you're worthy. You didn't manipulate this. You didn't force it. You didn't chase it. I brought it. And because I brought it, it's safe. Because I ordained it, it's sustained. I will never supply in a way that burdens your soul. So receive freely what I'm sending. The delivery may look unusual. The patty may be unconventional. But the content is divine. You've been asking me how I'll do it. Now you're about to see that I don't need what the world says I need. I am the God who sends manna in wildernesses and rivers through deserts. And today, I'm proving it through your story. Stay expectant. I am already moving. What has been wounded in you goes deeper than flesh. It's not just the exhaustion in your bones, it's the quiet erosion of trust, the unseen bruises on your identity, the hidden ache in your name when it's mentioned without honor. You've been pressing forward while carrying injuries that never fully had space to heal. You've smiled while stitched together with silence. You've walked upright while your soul limped from the blows of misunderstanding, rejection, and betrayal. But I tell you now, I'm not only restoring your health, I am restoring your wholeness. I am reaching into the layers you locked away, the rooms of your heart you kept guarded even from yourself. You didn't know how much was fractured because you got used to functioning through pain. But I never intended for you to just survive. I created you to thrive in clarity, strength, and peace. And now, I'm not only touching what hurts, I'm transforming what has been misnamed. Your name, once mishandled, misjudged, and spoken with doubt, is being redeemed in the atmosphere. Where you were once dismissed, I am rewriting the reputation of your identity. Not for ego, but for truth. I am reclaiming your voice, your honor, your belonging. What they attached to you that never came from me, I'm peeling it off, one layer at a time. You will not walk under the weight of labels I never gave you. I call you blessed. I call you chosen. I call you healed. And just as I mend the internal fractures, I am aligning your direction with precision. No more wondering. No more starting and stopping. No more questioning whether the path is correct. I am clarifying the route, confirming each step with peace that surpasses your understanding. I will not just give you health, I will give you purpose with it. Your healing will not be private alone, it will be the platform through which others find their own restoration. And you will speak not from theory, but from testimony. You will declare wholeness from a place of having been remade in my hands. This is not surface-level healing. This is deep repair. I'm reaching into the fabric of your being, aligning spirit, mind, and body. You won't have to fake strength anymore, you'll live in it. You won't have to pretend you're okay, you'll actually feel it. The heaviness that sat in your chest like a permanent resident is leaving now. And in its place I'm placing breath, new breath, deep breath, sustained and sacred. Let me do this. Don't resist the process because it feels unfamiliar. I'm not revisiting your pain to torment you, I'm visiting it to remove its residue. The time has come. The healing is here. And it's reaching every place you didn't even know needed to be restored. Stay present, I'm still working. You've questioned why it felt like progress always led you back to the same place emotionally, spiritually, even physically. You started things with faith and found yourself back in familiar patterns, feeling like the ground beneath you was moving but never advancing. It wore on your confidence. You asked me, why do I keep ending up here? But what you called circles, I called preparation. I wasn't punishing you, I was proving you. I allowed you to revisit those places not because you were failing, but because I was strengthening what had once been weak, correcting what had once been crooked, and anchoring what had once been unstable. But now the circling ends. The detours are being lifted. The fog is being cleared. I am placing a straight path before you, one that doesn't double back or delay your destiny. It will not be a winding road of confusion. It will be a highway of clarity, lit with my presence, paved with purpose, and covered in peace. The frustration you've carried from repetition is being broken off your life right now. No more wasted time. No more cycles of near breakthrough followed by collapse. We're building momentum only to lose it to doubt. I am stabilizing your stride. I'm giving you a rhythm of movement that is not based on striving, but on spirit-led confidence. You will not second-guess every decision anymore. You will move forward with discernment, not hesitation. You will know where to step and when to pause because I will guide your feet with precision. The signs will be undeniable. I will highlight the right conversations, confirm your choices through peace, and protect your forward motion from sabotage. Even your mistakes will not send you back this time. They will be woven into the forward momentum of my mercy. You are not repeating, you are rising. You are not spinning, you are stepping. And this time, the road leads somewhere new. You will feel the difference. You will sense the ground beneath you changing. Things that once looped endlessly will break in an instant. The spiritual traffic that caused congestion around your progress is being cleared. This is not a season of surviving the maze, this is a season of walking with direction. You're about to realize that all the wandering was never wasted. It builds something in you that cannot be shaken. And now, with its strength in your spirit, I am calling you out of the loop and into the lane. Move with me. I'm leading you forward, onward, without return. The pattern that's haunted your progress, the loop that's whispered, "You'll always end up back here," is being dismantled this very moment, not by effort, not by willpower, but by divine interruption. I have entered the timeline. I have stepped into the cycle with authority in my hand and mercy in my voice. No more repeating what drained your joy. No more rehearsing pain disguised as familiarity. No more retracing steps shaped by fear, guilt, or false responsibility. I've heard your private prayers, the ones where you wondered if you were cursed, if something invisible was tethering you to places you no longer belong. But I tell you now, what seemed unbreakable is bowing to my voice. Cycles don't hold power where I dwell. Generational loops, emotional entanglements, self-sabotage, spiritual confusion, it all shatters under my presence. This isn't just about stopping bad habits, it's about reclaiming the destiny that's been tangled in delay. I'm not just cutting cords, I'm closing gates. The entry points where pain used to sneak in, the old wounds, the hidden agreements, the silent shame are being sealed by fire and grace. You're not just being rescued, you're being reset. I'm laying a new rhythm in your heart, one that doesn't mimic yesterday's failures. This moment is holy. Right now, chains are falling not with noise, but with finality. You may not hear the clatter, but you will feel the shift. That pressure you couldn't name, it's lifting. That fog that clouded your vision is clearing. That sense of always coming close but never arriving, it's being replaced with completion. I don't need years to fix what trauma embedded, I just need your yes in this moment. And I have it. I see it. So I'm releasing a supernatural reset into your spirit. Even now. The cravings, the confusion, the torment that came like clockwork, at certain moments it will not return. This freedom is not seasonal. It's sustained. Not because of how hard you fought, but because of how deeply you surrendered. You'll wake up and realize the cycle is no longer circling you. You'll move forward and discover there's no pull dragging you backward. You'll breathe and feel air in your lungs where pressure used to live. I am doing this not tomorrow, not eventually, now. Because your destiny cannot wait. Because your voice is needed. Because I'm raising you as a breaker, not just for yourself, but for others watching you. The cycle ends with you, and what begins next will flow through generations. Walk free, child. The past can't chase you if the road behind you has been sealed. I never asked you to carry it all. I never expected you to fight every battle in your own might. I watched as you reached your limits, not because I was absent, but because I wanted you to see that even when your energy was depleted, I was not. You've come to the end of yourself more times than you can count, barely holding on, speaking life while feeling empty, giving hope while secretly breaking. But that's where I meet you best, not in your performance, not in your perfect posture, but in your raw, exhausted surrender. The place where your strength gives out is the very place where mine begins to rise within you. I am not simply helping you, I am becoming your strength. I'm not a supplement to your effort, I'm the source. When your effort collapses, when your arms are too heavy to lift, I lift them. When your voice fades, I roar for you. When your heart trembles, I wrap it in unshakable peace. Don't confuse fatigue with failure. You are not weak because you're tired, you are human. But I am divine. And where your capacity ends, my abundance begins. I am flooding your spirit with endurance that doesn't make sense to the world. You will rise not because you forced yourself to, but because my power will carry you when your legs won't move. You will keep going because grace has gripped you, not because grit has driven you. This is not about pushing harder, it's about receiving deeper. Let me be your breath when anxiety tightens your chest. Let me be your calm when chaos scrambles your thoughts. Let me be your stability when everything around you shakes. I know the weight you've carried. I know how long you've pretended to be strong for others while feeling fragile in secret. You don't have to pretend with me. I am not disappointed in your exhaustion, I am responding to it. I don't need your strength, I offer mine. And my strength never runs dry. It doesn't break under pressure. It doesn't waver in storms. It is steady, fierce, unrelenting, and now it's being poured into your spirit like oil, like fire, like water in a dry place. This is how you'll keep moving forward, not by force, but by overflow. Not by pretending you're fine, but by allowing me to fill every empty space. Let go of the burden of trying to be strong enough. I already am. All I need is your surrender, not your striving. And as you yield, you will feel it, not just a lift, but a shift. You will sense power in your steps, clarity in your mind, fire in your bones. This is not adrenaline. This is anointing. I'm not just giving you enough to survive, I'm giving you enough to soar. So breathe deep. You're no longer moving in your own strength. You're moving in mine. Stop rehearsing what didn't work. Stop measuring today by the weight of yesterday's disappointment. I'm not asking you to pretend it didn't happen, I'm asking you to stop letting it define what I can do next. The failure you've been carrying like a badge isn't your identity. That missed opportunity, that closed door, that broken moment, it didn't disqualify you. It prepared you. You've mourned it long enough. You've apologized for it more than I ever asked you to. I never held it against you. My mercy doesn't run on you in timelines. It renews daily like breath, like sunrise, like rhythm. And today, that mercy has been tailor-made for where you're standing right now. Fresh mercy doesn't come to remind you of your past. It comes to unlock your future. I know how easy it is to let regret wrap around your thoughts, to analyze every detail and wonder what you should have done differently. But what if I told you that even in what fell apart, I was still present? That even in what you call failure, I was sowing wisdom, cultivating strength, anchoring your spirit. You haven't missed me. You haven't ruined your chances. You're not late. You're learning to see that I do not discard those who stumble, I carry them. I redeem them. I revive them. And that's what I'm doing in you now. Today is not a replay of pain. It's the beginning of restoration. And it's not based on performance, it's based on my promise. I'm not waiting for you to be perfect. I'm waiting for you to receive what I've already poured out. There is mercy on this day, enough to heal, enough to rebuild, enough to spark what seemed forever gone. Let me cleanse the weight of yesterday from your thoughts. Let me remind you that I'm not calculating your worth by what you got right, I'm measuring your surrender. And you stayed close. You didn't run. You cried, but you didn't let go. And that alone qualifies you for a new beginning. So release the self-condemnation. Throw off the invisible chains of what could have been. I'm doing something new. And it doesn't require you to bring your old baggage with you. This new mercy carries no memory of the stumble, it carries the blueprint for your comeback. It's flowing over you now, quietly, but fully, seeping into every space where shame once lived. Don't resist it, receive it. And as you do, you'll feel it. The lifting, the clarity, the unexplainable peace that only comes when you truly believe it's okay to begin again. And it is. Not because you said so. Because I did. Now let's move forward, you and me, unburdened by yesterday, lit by the mercy of this moment. I heard every word they said, spoken in haste, whispered in bitterness, shouted in moments of their own brokenness, and I know how deeply those words pierced you. They didn't just brush your mind. They tried to bury themselves in your identity. Like arrows dipped in shame, they came to define you. And for too long, you've carried labels that were never yours to wear. But I am speaking now, and my voice overrides all others. Every curse clothed in familiarity, every insult masked as advice, every false prophecy wrapped in someone else's pain, I am silencing it. My promise is louder. My truth is heavier. My word is final. What they said in anger, I am now reversing in grace. They called you weak, I call you fortified. They called you a failure, I call you fruitful. They called you too much, too little, too late, but I call you perfectly positioned for my purpose. Their words may have echoed through your memories, but they don't get to narrate your destiny. I do. I was there when they said it, and I've been undoing the damage ever since. You thought you had to outgrow it, outrun it, outprove it, but you don't. You only need to believe what I am speaking now. Their words do not define you, and they never did. I'm severing the spiritual weight tied to those utterances. I'm uprooting lies that sounded true because they came from voices you once trusted. Even if they meant well, if it didn't come from my heart, it cannot stand. My truth carries no shadowed shame. It doesn't push, it lifts. It doesn't diminish, it restores. And right now, I am rewriting what's etched into your soul without my permission. You don't belong to their conclusions, you belong to my covenant. My promises were spoken over you long before any earthly voice tried to shape your worth. And my word doesn't just sit beside lies, it replaces them. Expect to feel a shift. Where you once heard echoes of hurt, you'll begin to sense declarations of hope. Where you once winced at your own name, you'll feel it rising with honor again. Because I'm healing not just your heart, I'm healing your history. You will not pass down what wounded you. You will not live under the sound of words I never spoke. I am releasing a cleansing over your mind, a recalibration of your identity, and a restoration of your rightful name. Let me speak it over you again. Chosen, beloved, called, protected, anointed. Oh, that is your name. That is your truth. And every other voice now bows in silence. You've looked behind you too often, trying to make peace with what slipped through your hands. Regret has painted your memories in heavy colors, making it hard to see anything but failure and what could have been. But I need you to hear this clearly. I am not just healing the effects of your past, I am reaching into the timeline itself and redeeming what seemed irreparable. I am rewriting the story, not erasing it, but transforming it so powerfully that even your pain will bow to my purpose. What you once thought disqualified you is being recast as the very ground where my glory will grow. I'm not simply restoring your heart, I'm restoring the narrative others tried to attach to you. They said you'd always be broken, always be behind, always be bound to what happened. But I'm changing the script. Where the enemy wrote trauma, I am writing triumph. Where sorrow wrote silence, I am writing a voice soaked in authority. You do not belong to the version of you who walked through the fire. You belong to the one I've refined through it. I saw you when no one else did. I saw your unseen obedience, your quiet repentance, your determination to keep believing when everything around you told you it was over. And now, I'm turning the pages. I'm taking the chapters soaked in shame and redeeming them into declarations of grace. This is not cosmetic restoration, this is deep, holy reformation. You will no longer flinch when the past is mentioned. You will speak of it with confidence because it no longer carries power over your future. I am sanctifying the places that once brought torment. I am lifting the heaviness from your memory, wiping away the residue of accusation, and replacing it with peace that doesn't make sense except that it's mine. You thought you'd have to live the rest of your life making up for what you missed. But I don't need you to make up for anything. I've already covered it. The cross didn't just cover your sin, it covered your story. It absorbed the pain. It silenced the guilt. It redeemed the years that felt stolen. And now, as you step into this new chapter, know that I'm not building on broken ground, I've already made it new. The pages ahead will reflect my faithfulness more than your mistakes. You will look back and see not a wasteland, but a garden watered by tears and made fruitful by grace. This is the miracle of rewriting, not denial, but divine redefinition. The past doesn't hold you hostage anymore. I do. And I'm holding you into something far greater than anything you've left behind. Amen.